Welcome to Relationship Talk with Juanito. I am your host, Juanito, aka Coach Juan Robinson, and I am joined today by Big G. Big G, say what's up to the people.
What's going on, baby? How you doing, people? As y'all can see, I have upgraded for the 9 and the 2 6s.
You need help, bro. Hey, so what's going on, man?
Hey, man, staying real warm a little bit. You know what I'm saying? They asking us to conserve energy, so I had to drop my thermostat down. So I'm around here layered up a little bit, but staying off these streets and trying not to be one of the casualties of this epic storm we have.
Yeah, the temperature is definitely dropped here in Texas.
Oh, y'all, next week, y'all gonna get some of them single digits.
Hey, are you hearing an echo from me?
No, I'm not hearing no echo from you.
Okay, it must be just me. Hey, so how you been, man?
Been good, man. Been good. Been good. It's been a crazy week this week because we had to double time it and had to rush through some stuff to get the IG team out of here before the storm hit on Friday. So they been on you, boy.
Yeah, because we were supposed to jump on Wednesday, but you hit me up. You was like, bro, I'm still working.
Well, Wednesday and Thursday, I didn't get home to about 10 o'clock. And that's
Okay.
being at work at 045.
Yeah, I I could do it.
Yeah.
Hey, so I got a topic for us today.
Shoot it, baby.
Well, I actually got a video for us to kind of react to. I saw it and I was like, I got some mixed perceptions on it, so I kind of wanted to play the video and then kind of get what your thoughts are about it.
Rock and roll.
I wish I could make it bigger, but Facebook be tripping like that. Sorry, I started the wrong screen. All right, there we go.
You said being a housewife is not a privilege.
It's not.
I didn't say that. And but
How
she's
is it not a privilege as an adult?
It's not the same. It's just
No,
she's
that's not what she said. She said it. Listen, I watched the clip. She said it was not a privilege.
It's not.
The ability to exist without having to provide for yourself. Explain to me how that is not a privilege.
It's not leisure because there's times where I was parenting.
But you still want to be treated as an adult. How is it not a privilege to not fulfill the requirements of being an adult, but to still be treated as an adult?
You're not saying what I'm saying.
What's not being an adult? Tell me what's not being an adult.
You're not taking care of yourself. You're taking care of the children and you're taking care of the home. That man is taking care of you.
But you know what is a luxury? You getting to wake up in the morning and leave and take care of all of that stuff and go to work and make money because you have someone who's holding it down at home. Guess what? I personally can't go to work 24/7 and work all these long shifts because I have that.
I think.
Now, if you had to come home, pick up the kids and take care of everything on your own, you probably can't make as much money as you're making because now you got a schedule to maintain and you got to make sure those kids is picked up. And now schedules are different, so kids got to get picked up at different times. They can't even stay till 3 p.m. no more. And then on another note, you're too tired to feed them properly. They don't even get the proper nutrients because you got to work and you got to take care of that and you got to stop and do your laundry. You got to stop and go grocery shopping. And you're sweating while driving.
When you said being a housewife is not a privilege, I want to know, how is that not a privilege when a man having a good woman and a good wife is a privilege?
I think you're taking it literal, though. She didn't say.
How can I not? How can I not take it literal?
The thing is that my statement was to clarify the erroneous conflation. Of people saying that being a stay-at-home wife no, like it's not it's a job.
You guys are both.
It's still a privilege.
No, listen.
I'm gonna shut up.
When you have a 24-hour job, you still get to clock out. when you have a 24-hour job, right? Because she still has to deal with everything in the house. Everybody in the kitchen got to be clean. Hold on. Everybody done whatever. She got to make sure the kids is bathed. Make sure they in the bed. Make sure their lunches is made the next day. Make sure they did their homework.
Make sure dinner's
right?
put up.
Mind you, he at Baccarat Hotel having a drink with the homies.
Hold on. And the thing is that her shift don't stop at 5 or 6.
All right. So I usually let you go, but I got a lot. So I'm going to start this one off. So I think that being a housewife is both a privilege and a job. And here's why I say that it's both. And when I say a job, how much of a job that is kind of depends on what your life looks like. And here's the reason why I say that. It's because in order for you to be a stay-at-home housewife in today's society, there has to be, the other partner has to be making an amount of money that allows for that, allows for you to keep whatever particular lifestyle that you have in that moment. If you're the richest of rich, then you're able to maintain that lifestyle. If you are a struggling family, then it's definitely gonna look more like a job. Now, what I mean by the job depends on your lifestyle is if it's just you and your partner and you're a stay-at-home wife, if you wake up and 90% of the house is cleaned, what are you doing all day? So that 10% of things that you have to do, you get it done, right? It's still work. If you have young children that aren't in school, then it's more like a job because you have them all day there with you and you're having to manage them and then also manage the house. If your kids are in school or if your kids are older and they have the ability to take care of themselves, then it's less of a job.
Yeah.
But it is still a privilege to be able to be a housewife because of the simple fact that in today's economic society, where most households need 2 incomes at a minimum to even have some semblance of a life, if you have the ability to stay home, that is a privilege in itself.
Yeah. Anytime you do anything for yourself, for your home, and that's what I think a lot of these young ladies nowadays, they don't really understand. You work from home. You do a lot of things when you're at home. You're working. So yes, it is a job. Staying at home is a job. Like you said, it could be seen as a privilege, but when you are a part of a team and you're a stay-at-home wife, mother, my job is to make the money outside the house. Your job is to utilize that money that I make outside the house for the home. So yes, it is a job. A lot of these young ladies don't want that job. They want the rapper girlfriend's lifestyle. They want the IG model lifestyle. And that's where these comments are coming from. It's not coming from a standpoint of trying to find clarity amongst men and women. It's I see how Ari and Moneybag lives. She has and that's how I want to be treated. I see how so and so lives. they jet set next weekend. They down in Cabo on the beach. That's how I want. That's how I want. She don't have a job, so that's their coming. When they say stay at home, they mean you go out and work. I do nothing. I can go shop. I can go get my nails done. I can be privileged. I can have a nanny. I can do all these things, and we go hang out on the weekend. That's their vision of stay at home. They can try to dress it up. They can try. You're. I was a stay at home dad when we first got married to my ex-wife, and because she couldn't due to the fact that she was military. So I was like, okay, I didn't really want my child at 1, 2, 3 year old going to the daycare and all that. I was very, 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 very protective of her. So I said, all right, I'll just quit working. I'll stay at home. Now, not trying to say anything disrespectful, but I got up, made bottles, changed diapers, put baby to sleep, played PlayStation, fed baby, cleaned up, put baby to sleep again, all that, literally 4 hours of work. And if I done it real good, I ain't have to clean up for 2 or 3 days. When she got time, when she started going to school, yeah, it's the same thing. I got a break. So, not saying that it's disrespectful in the matter that some might take it, or some people might get in the comments talking about, but if you know how to manage time and know how to do things, that is real. That's some easy work to me. And and if I could do it, a guy that a so-called man, but I understood my role. At that time, my lady was out making money. I was supposed to, she had dinner made when she came home. And if we pull up, if we ask her to come, never one time did I complain. Well, you at work all day. I'm at home all day. I gotta do this, this, and this. I was like, shit, it was rough for me going back to work. I was like, God, that was me.
So here's my question to you though. If looking back at it now,
hmm
because you can look at it from a 30,000 foot view now, would you say it was more of a job, or would you say it was more of a privilege?
Oh, it was a job because that was my job. My job was to take care of the child while she worked. My job was to take care of the home. She went out and made the money at that point in time. And my job was to manage the money and make sure we had it. So when she come home, all she had to do was just come home and chill, pick up Kari, do what she wanted to do.
So in that scenario from the video, do you agree or disagree with the man?
I I I disagree, but I understand where he was coming. He just didn't know how to word it. But from the standpoint of saying it was job, she's totally correct. It's a job. But you know what I'm saying, with everything, there has to be context. And a lot of times on these podcasts where they get into it, nobody know how to contextualize. They just know how to spew it out and let it fly. And that's what I'm saying. It's a job. And and you try not to get on these podcasts and because you know who your core audience is going to be, especially when you're on a podcast with multiple women. The core audience is going to be women because they're coming to see the women take you down as a man. All right. So you don't want to lose your core audience. So instead, how I would have framed it, I would have said, yes, in a partnership, that's your job. But let's be honest. If you know how to do your job, it's one of the easiest jobs to have, being a stay-at-home mom. Now, you can make it how you want to make it. You
It
can make
didn't say
something,
stay at home mom. It says stay at home wife.
but stay true.
So I guess
And that's even easier. You know what
well,
I'm saying?
I think that because we don't know the dynamics of the conversation, it could be either or, right?
Well,
And
if you're a stay-at-home wife, and it's just you and him, how much are you clean? Because if he's working long hours to ensure that you're a stay-at-home wife, he's not coming home and just dirtying up the house every doggone day. You got to prepare a meal. You got to wash laundry. How many? Unless you washing every pair of clothes that he's come home every day, you probably washing laundry 2 times a week. It's just you and him. 2 times a week at the most. You got a dishwasher. You load the dishwasher. So, what exactly are you doing that's so strenuous being a stay-at-home wife, where you're saying when you're trying to when you're trying to defend yourself and saying that it's a job, what exactly are you doing? Because
so that's what I'm saying. It could be either or. It could be even both. Like if it's just a stay-at-home, if you're a stay-at-home wife, like you have no other responsibilities to him, 9 out of 10 times I would consider that as being a privilege, right? Because that likely means that he makes enough means that the requirement for you to at least be able to provide for yourself doesn't exist. And
Yeah.
so therefore it is a privilege, right? So if you were by yourself, meaning you didn't have a partner, you didn't have a man, you didn't have anybody who was going to take care of you, you were going to have to operate within this world as a functioning adult, not a functioning adult, pay your work, pay your own bills, blah, 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 XYZ. Somebody comes into your life, takes that responsibility off of you, and all you have to do is stay home. You are privileged in comparison to most people.
Yeah.
Like my wife, let's say hypothetically that we didn't have my son. She could stay home and I could take care of everything by myself, not a problem. Lifestyle kind of changes a little bit, slightly, but not too much. The moment you throw the kid in there, it's still a privilege if you're able to stay home, but your lifestyle changes.
Yeah.
Because that's more money going out the door. So that means you got to give up certain things. You got to give up certain luxuries that, prior to you having that kid, you were able to do. Now, if you make an absorbent amount of money, then nothing likely changes if you had a kid, unless you just want to give them the best of the best, which they don't necessarily need that. But if you were two functioning adults both working in a relationship and then one makes the choice to stay at home, then that changes your lifestyle drastically, and now sacrifices have to be made, and so then that lifestyle, that home environment now becomes a work.
It does. And that's going back to last week's topic when we discussed uh that's when you have to get things in order. I believe that we wouldn't have those conversations wouldn't happen if you're dealing with the expectations. And the expectations is clearly defined. Uh
What do you mean?
the expectations is okay, yes, you're gonna be a stay-at-home wife. Then in the future, stay-at-home mom. Uh, and here's my expectation as for me going out into this world to provide for you. Because your expectation is I'm a stay-at-home mom. I don't want to have to go to the grocery store and my card declines. I don't want to have to go to these other places and not be able to do such and such and such. Coming from the woman, so this is your state. So that's the trade-off. So, but here's the expectation as a man: I want to come home to a nice home, clean home. Come home, you know what I'm saying? To the kids fed, not fed, and that's the problem. When a woman says traditional, she means you treat me from a man's standpoint how the man did the woman back in the 30s, 40s, 50s, and whatever. But I, as a woman, I am a modern girl now. I get to do, say, act any kind of way I want to. And that's how it's going to be. So it's one sided. You're the only, as the man, you're the only one that has to be traditional. Because I don't have to be traditional. I'm a modern woman. I have the right to say whatever I want to say. I can do whatever I want to do. And when men get into their argument that conversation with women, you got to understand that you're talking to someone who it's a one side. And it's always going to be like that, man. It's always going to be like this. It's a one-sided thing. All right, it's going to always be one side of the conversations. So if you have a heated debate, anything, it's going to be one side. But your expectation has to be clearly defined and leveling up. You know what I'm saying? If you putting yourself in a position to where you're able to provide a young lady with a chance to not have to work anymore and live a soft lifestyle somewhat of, hey, if your side of the deal is not being met, don't stay, man. Don't stay. Point blank.
You know, I, I think you're spot on because I don't think that a lot of these conversations are being had in advance. And so hold on for a second. Hold on for a second.
We'll be right back, y'all.
Sorry about that.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, but I think you're spot on. I think a lot of these things can be avoided by communication and, like you said, setting expectations. And so, but what happens when life throws you a curveball and your expectations change?
Uh, Nothing's gonna ever be 100% straight down on the road. You know what I'm saying? That's why they strategically put hills in it to make you stop and get gas. Because if it was straight narrow road, you can go from one side of the United States to the other side of the United States on a straight path and not use too much gas. But it's when those curveball comes, uh, that's where picking the right partner is evident, real evident. Because here's the understanding is that women have different seasons, and every man should understand women have different seasons. If you're with your woman for a long time, you're going to see those seasons. She's going to have those seasons to where she's nurturing and mothering. Then she's going to have those freedom seasons. Then she's going to have that menopause. And she's just going to have a whole different season, a lot of different seasons that come into it. And you, as a man, you have to really, really understand that. So there's going to be curveballs. And that's where I say picking the right partner, because having the right partner will have you in a situation to where you want to deal with those seasons. You want to battle through with those different seasons. Having the wrong partner, we start to shut down and we go into that anguish aspect of a relationship. We're just existing in a relationship. We're not moving and guiding and walking through a relationship with our partner. We just in existence in one until it finally just dissipates and goes away.
Okay, so you talk about picking the right partner. How would Big G in the Big G that exists today, given everything that you know about everything that you've learned over your lifetime, how would you go about picking the right partner?
Big G now will value.
Man, hey, listen, don't talk in the third person. Just it's I,
Okay.
man.
My bad. All right. For me now, I would value, you know what I'm saying, continuity over looks. I do.
What
I
does
would
that mean?
finding a young lady who's gonna show up consistently through my good times and my bad times. Uh, After I got divorced, I started clearly stating um, who I am as a person. Um, I'm ornery at times. Um, kind of not very good in certain moments with communicating effectively. Not that I don't know how to, but I have a how would I say it? I have a time of where I don't like to repeat myself. So if I continue have to repeat myself, I'd rather not say nothing at all. And so that goes back into that ornery stuff. So I battle at times with communication. But like I tell her, I'm worth it. I'm moody. Um, uh, and sometimes I just like to be alone. And if these things are something that you can't deal with, you know what I'm saying, that you don't want to show up consistently for it, and it's not that I'm trying to push you away. It's just these are the kind of things that I about me that I know about me that even though I've tried to work on, and they better than what they've been from the past, but even though I've tried to work on them, they're there and they're prevalent and they're going to be there. And so if this is something that you know that you can't deal with, we don't have to go forward because it's going to happen. I'm gonna come in from work, not say nothing. I might not say nothing for 2-3 hours. I might just sit on the couch and look at the TV and don't move. It don't mean I'm not there for you. It's just that's how I'm feeling right now, and that's what it's gonna be. I can't force myself out of it. I can't try to fake out of it. It's gonna happen. There's gonna be times where you know what I'm saying. I ask something from you, or you ask something from me, and me thinking that a functioning adult should already know the answer. I'm not gonna reply because you're an adult. You should know the answer. Once again, that's not me not wanting to be there. That's just how I'm wired. God damn, you're an adult. You're supposed to know these things. Figure it out. I had to figure it out. That's me.
That last one, though. If you was one of my clients, I'd talk to you about that last one.
I know, and I've been to therapy, and it has been talked about. But my thought process is about that is it's you tell me you don't treat you like a kid. And if we have a communication, or we have a heated conversation about something, and I explain, you tell me I'm not dumb, I know how to do that. Okay, so let's see you figure it out before I help you. But I don't want to treat you like a child. I don't. It's kind of funny that we are in charge. We can't make women do things, but we're in charge of making women happy. Now, I can't make you do nothing else. I can't make you do anything else. I can't make you clean the house. I can't make you do this. I can't make you pay the bills on time. I can't make you do nothing else. But I gotta make you happy.
Well, I mean, I can appreciate your honesty with a potential partner that you would look at choosing. I think if I had to answer that question myself, is, you know, if, when choosing a partner, and this is one of the subjects that I talk about, or that I talk about in my book. Everything about choosing a partner starts with yourself. It starts with your self-awareness. It starts with your ability to understand your trauma triggers. It starts with you understanding your attachment patterns. It starts with you going back to the drawing board and figuring out who you are as an individual, what you need and what you want in your life, and identifying what's important and what's not, right? What you can do, what you can live without, and what you can't. And once you have set that foundation, then you can start to look for a partner. In choosing my partner, my wife, when she met me, it wasn't long after she met me that she had already determined for herself that I was the one for her. I couldn't honestly say that at the time, that I knew that she was the one for me. Because there were certain things that I was looking for. There were certain aspects of a relationship that I had been seeking, and I had been seeking for years, dating back to my childhood, that I had never found. So in my first marriage, I made the mistake of jumping into something that I had no business getting into because I was desperate. And I figured it out much too late because I was already almost 10 years in, and the relationship had soured by then. So, and that thing was for that person who, given all of my flaws, given all of my trauma, given all of my insecurities, that even to this day I have to continuously work through, because it took 25 to 30 years to build it. It's not going to get fixed in 6 months, 1 year, 2 years. It's going to be a lifetime of trying to deal with those experiences that I had growing up and how they affected me. So, like you said, there are times where I'm moody and I'm irritated, or that I don't want to be bothered. And you have to be willing to understand that it's not you. Now, granted, you can come along and contribute to my irritation if you if you want to be nagging or you want to be annoying or you want to not recognize that, hey, this is not a good time for me. So you have to be vigilant and you have to be understanding and you have to keep your head on a swivel too, because like in me and my wife's case, there's an age difference between us. And so she has to understand that I'm 44. Like, and I get up early in the morning. I come home and I'm one of those, I'm retired military. My body hurts all the time. That's why I was able to get to 100% disability. So I don't sleep well, like all of these different things. And so I am not, I am not the most, when I am irritated, I just want to be left alone. Just leave me alone, right?
Leave me
So you have
alone.
to, someone who comes in and their understanding of that and their willingness to, give me space when I need space, but also when I need to love bomb on you, be willing and open to that. And then also, be willing to, you don't have to sit next to me, but just sit in the room in silence with me.
Yes. Yes.
Like, and earlier today after I got out of my training, I came out there, sat down on the couch after 8 hours of training, after my head was hurting because it was just a bunch of information being thrown at me at one time. I just wanted to kind of sit there and decompress. I didn't really want to talk about nothing. I didn't really want to do nothing. I sat there on the couch. She sat there on the other couch. I was on my phone. She was on her phone. We were both quiet. My son running around the house playing with the dogs. And we just sat there in silence. Maybe had a question here or there, but for the most part, we just sat there in silence. And, you have to be okay with that. You have to be okay with not necessarily having the most exciting life. And so these are things that are important to me. These are things that I've identified about me that, they've even changed over the last 5 to 7 years, because me and my wife, we've been together for 8 years, but been married for 6 years, or going on 8 years. And when we first met, I still had enough energy to go out to the club and do my thing.
Yeah.
And now I barely want to leave the house.
They want to leave.
And I know that that's a huge difference between where we were then and where we are now. So having the flexibility and the willingness to adjust to whatever the situation is quite important, because also at the same time I was in the military, and you as a spouse of a military person, you have to be flexible.
Mm-hmm.
Like, because it's not about you, it's about that person. It's about that person and their career. And so you become second to the man, quote unquote. And then, once you retire, or you separate, it then flips.
It flips. Now, going back to the video, the young woman in the video, she was very adamant about the job, and she's saying, I don't get to go to work and do this and come home and do and don't have to worry about cleaning up. Now, you see how the conversation, she was so eager to say that, and she said she didn't mind. It has been countless times we've seen on these apps that women who are the breadwinners, and they quickly view their man in a totally different way. If a man loses his job, these women say, you got 6 months and all this other stuff to get another job, because I'm not gonna be the breadwinner, not gonna do that. But we see when it's time to defend a point, she was so adamant about that. She wants to go. She wants to go work, and she wants to switch and do everything, but the outcome would never be the same. And I pose this question to you: why do you, as a person who deal with couples and coach people on relationships and how to maneuver through relationships, uh, why is it that a man is willing to, I ain't gonna say foot the bill, but a man is willing to allow a woman to be a stay-at-home uh, uh, wife, but a woman and doesn't want to allow, or she views her man, even if they agreed that he was going to be a stay-at-home husband, her views change.
So I'm gonna answer that question in two parts.
Uh-huh.
So first part, I am going to talk about the man. Men, as earliest as we've known, right? And the earliest man was Adam. If you believe in the Bible, right? The earliest man was Adam. And if you read, Adam was put in the Garden of Eden, and he had responsibility for that garden. He was given task to do by God himself. He told him to name the animals, right? So Adam has a responsibility for all of these different types of animals that exist today. He's the one who gave him the name, right? He had the responsibility of managing the Garden of Eden. He was the first worker to ever live.
Uh-huh.
So it is naturally ingrained in us from our creation, if that's a route that you believe, that we were made to work. That's why we're bigger, faster, stronger. We have great compartmentalization skills. We from a mental standpoint, we can shoulder more, right? And in a sense, it kind of makes us less emotional. Not that we're emotionless, but we don't tend to operate within our emotions because of the natural our natural state is to work and to be using our hands and stuff like that. You can't do both, right? You can't be both emotional and using your hands. Now, let's talk about the woman, and then I'm gonna kind of bring it together. Going back, God saw that man shouldn't be alone, and therefore he created Eve out of the rib of Adam, and he made her to be a helpmate. And a helpmate is just simply someone who is there to support their partner, her husband, her man, in whatever capacity that he needs her to operate within. And that what that looks like is grossly dependent on who that man is. And God designed her to fill that role. So that's why women are great in social environments. That's why women are great, are better at making a house to a home. They have all of these natural skills that come towards them because that's how they were designed, right? But also with that design is, if you look at the times up until the most recent times, there was always threats of violence that happened, right? There wasn't police or people who you could call that would come to your aid to, you know, stop a man from doing whatever he wanted to, right? There wasn't a lot of that. Sure, there may have been guards or stuff like that in like the medieval times or whatever, but if a man wanted you, he would take you. Like, and there were ways that they could do it. So you needed a man to protect you in those times. And even today, if all hell broke loose, these non-traditional roles would quickly flip, right? You would be heavily relying on your partner to stand in the gap between you and whoever is trying to get at you or your family. Now, bringing it all together. Men, if you understand who men are quite simple. If it's men by themselves and we don't have, if they were to eliminate all women from this earth, men would live extremely simple lives. They would have a 1-bedroom apartment, a studio apartment with the bare necessities that they need to live. Everything else is because of women. We do what we do. We go out, try to make the most amount of money so we can impress women. We buy the most fanciest cars we can afford because we want to impress women. We wear gold chains because we want to impress women. It's all about women. And I think that women think that men don't like them or that we don't care about them. No, everything that we do outside of what we need to do for our very own existence is for women. But somewhere along the lines that hasn't been good enough. You know, they want more. And I think a lot of that is societal. And, you know, yes, some of it is their choices of their own. But that need for more is kind of what has pushed them into seeking employment and seeking more money or seeking bigger bags, right? But they don't have the same mindset. They don't do it because they want to take care of their men. Because remember, men work extra hard and try to earn the most money so that they can take care of a family. Because if they only had to take care of themselves, if they could afford to work at the doing being a paper boy, they would do it. Whereas women work so that they could have more and then have more. And it's mostly for themselves. Sure, there are women who are great partners who make more money and will give to their partner and not make them feel like less of a man. They still treat them as if they are the king of the castle. But for the vast majority of them, as they make more money, it's still about themselves.
Yeah.
And so that's the different dynamic. And so you as a man, especially if you're married, you have to work harder to make more money, to keep distance between you and your partner as from a financial standpoint.
Yeah.
Because you just don't know how it'll turn out if it were to ever flip, unless you go into the relationship with that dynamic already existing.
Yeah. I get what you're laying down.
But I will say this. Going back to that video, she said the wildest shit that I have ever heard somebody say. I don't know if you caught it.
What'd you say?
She said, you get the luxury to go out there and work.
Oh, boy.
And to take care and so that you can take care of the family. I don't know where in the hell that's a luxury. That is okay. So that kind of goes into what I was saying, right? Women don't understand why men do what they do. They don't understand that men work as hard as they work so they can provide for a family, a spouse, their children. So I don't know. And she was like, and she said that you have that luxury of doing that, and I don't, because I have to stay here and take care of the kids. And I'm like,
But the ironic part is, once again, she said something like that, and I hear it all the time at work. Oh, I miss my baby. I wish I could be at home with my baby. Okay, okay. See, yes, what you say is if a man could, if we can survive off paper route money, we will. Because I was in college, you know, um, side note, there was the NIL back then. They just didn't call it NIL. So you just got a little paper. We just got a little paper. Uh, we just got a little paper. Yeah, dude was like, "Why you staying over here in the Jacks, Big G?" Shit, cause all I gotta do is pay $125 a month. Shit, I ain't gonna be here. I get up at 5:30 in the morning, go to practice, go to school. I don't get here till about 7, 8 o'clock after we get through with study hall. I just need somewhere to go to sleep. That's all I need. Well, I'm gonna pay at that time $450 to go stay in. It was called Harbor Heights. Very nice, very nice up in Arkansas. Well, I'm gonna pay $450, $500, one bedroom to be in that mud for 7 hours a day. Now, I was in the projects, chilling, watching dope fiends die.
So when she said that, I was like, I don't know what person thinks it is a luxury to have to get up and go to work.
That's girl math, though, Juan. You know that. That's girl math.
Like I am eternally grateful for the opportunity for me to get up and go to work and to be able to provide for my family.
But it's not.
But let's be honest. If I ain't got to, I don't want to.
Don't want to.
Because if I had $100 million, I wouldn't be getting up and going to work. I would be doing whatever it is that I wanted to do. Now, granted, knowing who I am, I would probably get bored at some point and then, start doing something, but it's going to be something that I absolutely love to do. And, regardless of however much it pays,
Yeah.
it'll be just something that I love to do because I am a man. I was built that way, and I like to, keep myself busy. Technically, I don't have to do nothing now. I can retire. I'm retired, and I got disability.
Yeah.
So, but I can go back to living a mediocre, simple life, and be perfectly fine with that. But I do what I do now because I have a responsibility to take care of my family and provide them with the best life possible that I can do that I can, and so that's why I do what I do. But I did want to go back to the video and touch on a couple more things. They said it's 24-hour job being a stay-at-home mother, stay-at-home wife, which is not true because you do have to sleep. Okay, that's number one. And number two, unless your kids are infants or toddlers,
You putting them to bed at 7
your
o'clock.
kids get up and go to school.
Mm-hmm.
Like my son's out the door at 6:15 in the morning. He's 5. He's out the door going to school at 6:15 in the morning. He don't get home to 3:30. So in between 6:15 and 3:30, let's just say my wife was a stay-at-home wife. She ain't got to deal with him at that point in time. And if the house is already clean, because you keep a house clean, then what are you doing all day?
Don't do that. We can't question what a woman's doing. Can't question that.
I'm not questioning it. I'm just throwing out there, what are we doing? Like, I understand if you clean it up and you going to the gym and you making sure your body right, and that you making sure your husband got food when he come home, and that it smells good, and everything's good to go. But let's be real.
Now,
hold on. Before you jump in there, let's be real. Not every woman does that, and not a lot of them do that,
especially now,
because a lot of them don't know how to make a house into a home. Don't know how to necessarily be housewives. They are, as I stated earlier, most of the time thinking about themselves.
A young lady at work, because we had discussions about this, and she said, they call me Mr. O at work. Mr. O, so you talking about how do a woman, what is it that a woman makes a house a home? I said, oh, I say, what, you 25, 26, and you don't, I said, what do you man always ask from you? I say, not. I say, what's the simple thing that most men ask a woman for? I don't know. I say, so you never heard your man ever talk about peace? Yeah. I say, that's a home. That's a home. Peace is a home. A man goes out into this world and he has to deal with so much. Take crap from at work, from the ride home, from the public. You don't know exactly what a man deals with coming from outside their work, outside in their world to go make money to provide for his family. When he comes home, he just want a peaceful home. He just want a place to where he walked through that door, he feels like what's out there can't shake him in here. Can't disturb him in here. The running up of his child or jumping, daddy, jumping his arm. Boom. That's peace. Come home and it's not that he's not wanting to do stuff in the home, but he's not wanting to have confrontation inside of the home. He comes home not being bombarded with, hey, you need to do. Okay. You call it decompression now. Let him decompress. That's a home.
That, I think that's part of it. But also having a vision, setting the mood. Because
But don't it all fall
you
under peace though, one?
well, hold on. I'm a delineate between the two. So, depending on how your home is built, how your home is shaped, there's a certain vibe that, men typically we're not interior decorators. We don't have the ability to set that kind of vision for our home, right? So when I say you turn a house into a home, what I'm referring to is that I give you the house, meaning the structure, the foundation, the doors, the windows, the walls, all of that. And you take that bare structure and you turn it into a living space that when I leave out, I can't wait to come back to. Because if it's dirty, or if it's not clean, or if it's stuff all over the place, or if things are unorganized, or if everything is bare bone, it's not inviting. That's what I mean by turning a house into home. It's welcoming, it's inviting, it's an energy. Like if somebody comes over to your house, they be like, "Damn, you got a really nice home." And there's a little bit of enviness that's there, even if you got a trailer. That's what I was meaning by that. But it is a part of that, right? Because then you throw in, the aroma and the food and the children and the dogs if you got them. Like all of that is welcoming and inviting. And that you walk in and you could feel like you could just take the load that you've been carrying all day off and hang it up, as soon as you get home.
Yeah. That is I'll file to me. I'll file all that other piece. That's when I come through that door and I see all that. That's my. I don't have to like. I know you hear now where women say, when I'm with my man, I want to just turn my brain off. My man, turn my brain off. I don't want to have to think when I'm with my man. All right. Well, when I come through that door, I don't want to have to seek elsewhere. I don't want to have to feel like I want to be elsewhere, but right here. And I was trying to explain that to to a few ladies that I dealt with. You know what I'm saying? If ever it comes to a point in time where I'm coming through the door and I get that, I'm not at peace anymore. And I don't want to be here. And so keeping the house clean, you know what I'm saying? And with me, insight with me, it's not killing part about it. It's a lot of things that I have a little OCD about that most women who deal with won't have to do. Like I'm very particular about how I do my laundry. I don't want nobody. So my woman never have to. I do the laundry. My clothes are kind of thing, and I'm kind of frugal, so I don't want to keep going out and buying stuff. So I take care of my stuff real nice. Hang certain things up. I only let certain things sit in the dry for 10 minutes before I hang it up and let it air dry, and all that. So doing laundry is never on the measure of a woman of mine.
Just so you know, I lost the ability to do laundry because back when back when I had my uniform, I left a pin in one of my my little pockets on my sleeve
Yeah.
and threw it. I was trying to rush and do laundry. I threw a whole bunch of clothes in there and messed up some of my wife's brand new clothes. So since then, I am not
And
allowed to
that
do
was the
laundry.
reason I told my ex-wife, don't you ever touch laundry again. She did the exact same thing.
Hey, listen, man, we don't be thinking about it. You forget them pins are there half the time.
Boy, I come out there, man. My white polo had a blue ink all. I said, I put the stuff I forgot. I got it. Nobody touch you. You want to check the pockets. You want to check it. What you doing? You're not a check. I can see on your face. You're not a check.
Nah, man. Hey, listen. I forget. I leave stuff in my pockets. Like I cause my brain be in other places. I ain't even gonna hold you.
Oh,
Nah,
yeah.
like hey, even with this storm that came through, like my brain was in others. My wife's like, we need flashlights and batteries and all the other stuff. Man, I was like, it's only one day. We ain't gonna die. If you die, you die.
Boy, hey, boy, you wild though, man. Hey, I'm glad y'all down there in Texas, y'all ain't down in San Antonio, y'all didn't get hit too hard. That's good for y'all. But right up in Austin, they got some snow and ice in Austin, though. Right up the road, 45 minutes away from y'all.
Oh, I'm pretty sure they did. But I do got one more video that I wanna let you listen to.
Yes, sir.
Let me pull it up real fast. By the same group, shout out to the folks over at 8 at the Table. They be having some wild conversations, make for good content. So
Oh boy, yeah, they do. They be having some wild conversations over there. I like the little light skinned brother over there with the dreads. He be killing me.
Rico.
Rico, my boy Rico.
Yeah. The young girls, they be young girl in it.
Young girl.
The other one, she be making sense sometimes because she be married. She married, but
Yeah,
other
Cat
times,
or some Kit or something like that. Yeah.
nah, you talking about the wrong one. All right, you ready?
Chick, right? Yeah. Oh yeah.
If my daddy was sorry and wasn't around, you don't get the privilege of walking me down the aisle. That is a hold on. He wasn't there. I'm sorry. If you don't raise your kids and you're not there, you sorry. You sorry. You a sorry. That's what you are. You understand? So if you are not there and you got a relationship 2 or 3 years ago, cool. He should be a part of it. He should be there. But I think if you were so set in wanting him to walk you down the aisle, cool. Let that be your choice. Sit in it, be comfortable with it, and be okay with your mama not being there. That it is what it is. Like, we're making a whole bunch of excuses. You're an adult. You're getting married. You want your daddy to walk you down the aisle? Let him do it. But it's to the expense of your mother not being there. She's entitled to her feelings. She's entitled to being hurt after she done moved mountains and did X, Y, and Z for you. Period.
Could the father say the same thing?
What mountains did he move when he wasn't there?
You don't know why he wasn't there.
I think everybody's entitled to how they feel, but still, she needs to make a decision. We don't need to know what she wants.
You're right.
The eye-opening fact is this.
Hold on. That chick with the blonde hair,
Yeah.
she wanted them to be just saying the wildest stuff.
Yeah. She. Yeah.
All right, I'm gonna go back.
I already just when she starts speaking, she gets an automatic tune out anyway.
She still wants her father there, which means whatever her mother has done wasn't enough. Which means
that's not what it means.
What do you mean? Whoever her mother is to her wasn't enough, because if you're looking at it from a perspective, which I can understand. Now, if you didn't raise your child for whatever reason, I don't co-sign with you. I do think that you're a lame ass individual.
He could have been an usher.
But what I'm saying is that child or adult
has a relationship with that father that has not been fully explained here, but it is very telling that the relationship is strong enough for her to consider her own mother not potentially being at her wedding, who was there.
And I think that's the thing. I don't disagree with you. I think if that feeling is so strong, you feel so strongly about your daddy being there,
stick to it. Let him be there.
And it's going to be to the exclusion of your mama. Then make your choice and stand in it. We don't want to hear about, well, maybe the mom did this, blah, blah, blah. Who gives a f? You make a decision, because that is what adults do. I can guarantee you at my wedding, if I said, if my mama didn't agree with my choice, baby, it's your choice to be there or not. Because you know what's going to happen? The wedding's still going to go on. That's what's going to happen. So, old girl, you need to make a decision and stick by it. And if that changes the relationship with your mama, then so be it, because that is a choice you made.
Well, first of all, before she said that she decided she wanted her father to walk her down the aisle, she said that I want both of my parents to be included on my wedding day.
Of course.
So it doesn't have to be that role, but she started off this whole situation telling us that she was raised primarily by her mom and that her mom worked hard, gave up things, blah, blah. Like, she knows everything that her mom did for her.
She's trying to justify her mother's reasoning for giving her an ultimatum, although she's still on the fence. And even with all that she's did, there's still this other side of the spectrum that she's still leaning towards, or still caught in between, that has enough force to keep her from absolutely going with her mother's ultimatum.
I think it's the fact that she didn't have a daddy. So now daddy's around. You're going to crave that. She's been craving
I was about to say, I think that she wants that, like, father walking her down the aisle.
She
And
wants
she's
that
not,
experience. She just wanna miss out
she
on
just
it.
wants that experience, and she's not thinking about what that would mean for her mom.
It couldn't be critical thinking.
What do you mean?
There's no way that she could have seen, like he said, what has gone on with her and her mother in the relationship, and seen, like, okay, there could be another side to the situation, and that's why she kept the relationship with her father. And now she's making a decision as an adult.
But if it's important, why she didn't include that? Hey guys, if you enjoy
this topic here, Juan.
Hold on. Before you go, let me drop some. So, kudos to my ex-wife. Since we got divorced, she's had primary custody of my kids. I see them during the Christmas break and over the summer. Most of the time, and maybe a few times in between then, but majority of the time, that's the times that I see them. She has had the responsibility of taking care of them on a day in and day out basis. I live in Texas. They live in Illinois. And so, but I have a relationship with my daughter. So if the day comes when she is ready to get married, both of us will be there. Now, let's just say hypothetically that she felt a certain way about me, which this is what I think has happened in this particular situation, just based off of how things were talked about. What I think is that it sounds like the mother is a piece of work, and that the father knew that and wanted to keep his distance from her, and probably had some sort of relationship adjacent with his daughter, not dealing in any way with the mother. Because why would the child want her dad involved? Or it's the dad's child, so I'm gonna go with child. Why would this child want her dad involved in her wedding if he wasn't there, or he wasn't around, or he was not in the picture? What it sounds like to me is that he's in the picture, is just adjacent to the relationship between her and her mother. And just on the side note, I think the fact that a mother would put that kind of ultimatum on their child is wild.
Growing up, especially from a male perspective, you know what I'm saying, our mothers, I'm a product of being raised by my mother. And I was told some things. And but I'm proud that also my mother raised me to be a self-thinker. Uh, so even though she was telling me these things, I'm analyzing, some just ain't right. So when I was old enough and I had conversations with said father, I learned some things. And when I learned some things, I was like, she acts like that with me. So what she was telling me wasn't adding up from what was being. I'm not saying he can make up certain things too. I felt like, oh, well, you could have did this, you could have did, but I understood. Now, a lot of these single mothers now they're jealous, and they're jealous because, like you say, they spend all this time and they're doing this raising and they're grooming their child. And then to see after all their hard work of grooming them, saying your daddy ain't no good, he ain't do this, he don't want to do this, he got another other side of town with another family. All this, she see that a child was able to forgive, forget, and build a new relationship with that father. So she gets jealous. And because in her mind, and especially the child becomes a great individual. I did that as the mother. I did that. Now, if the child does not do great in life, daddy, it was your fault. It was your fault. So these single mothers take all the credit when there's a positive outcome, but they take none of the credit when it's a negative outcome. And so that lady right there talking and from however the mother is, that's jealousy. That's impartial thinking. That's I can't see how all my hard work of trying to drive a wedge, and so to have my child not like the man that didn't like me anymore. How dare you like somebody who didn't want me anymore? That's the problem. That's the problem. They can't fathom somebody they didn't groom to not like somebody who didn't like them. And so they're hurt. That's pain. Because I've had this conversation with my mom. I know it's painful. I say, but I'm at an age at that time. I'm at an age now. I don't need your permission to call my daddy no more. I don't need you to do this anymore to facilitate. Now you don't have to play the middleman anymore. If he hurts me, he hurts me. But I'm going to talk to him and address these things. And if we come to a situation to where there are going to be stipulations. Like my stipulation was just be more present in my daughter's life than you were in mine. and we good. And he was. And so listening to these things, and when I hear conversations like that, and when I hear women speak like that, because once again, that's the womanhood always trying to find a way to like the gentleman said in there. I forget what he said about God, rationalize. Trying to rationalize, you know what I'm saying, why something in favor of the mother. You can't do that. You cannot do that. How about just saying that child wants a relationship with her father? They must have repaired their relationship. And through that repair, she asked him to walk her down the aisle because that's the tradition. The father walks the daughter down the aisle. Now, if there's no father in the picture and there's no repair relationship, next male role model, grandfather, uncle, whoever. But the tradition is the father walks the child down. And so they must have had a great repair, or like you said, had an adjacent. As she got older and got her own cell phone, well, baby, you call me. Because once my daughter got to the age where she can do, I did the same thing. Now, when it's dealing with stuff about dental care, health care, yes, contact her mother. Hey, let's work these things out. But other time, you got a direct line to me. We can talk anytime you want to talk. And anytime you want me to pick you up, all you got to do is say, Daddy, I want you. And that's why we have the relationship we do today.
So it kind of goes, I was sitting here thinking about it, and it kind of goes back to what we were talking about before I played the video, and it kind of is why I played it. What it made me think about is just how much men, in my opinion, so let me, before I go down that road, but in my opinion, I think that there was probably an adjacent relationship to the that didn't include the mother. The fact that she would put this ultimatum out there, give it to her child, it remember what I was saying, women can tend to be more selfish, right? It could be about them. It definitely gives it's about me vibes, right? Your wedding is about me rather than it's about you. And that's it sounds like she wants to be celebrated for her being a mother, whereas the wedding is supposed to be a celebration of her, you know, becoming a wife.
Yeah.
So when I start putting all of these pieces together, this is what it sounds like to me. It sounds like if this dude was any semblance of a good dude and he was filling that role that I think, based off of what I heard, was the case of him being in her life adjacent to the mother, sounds like he's a good dude.
Mm-hmm.
And that the mother was probably not a good partner. And what did we say earlier? Men value peace. And it is peaceful for me to have an adjacent relationship with my daughter than to have to deal with you. Right? I would rather not talk to my kids and let them reach out to me when they want to than to deal with you. Like, and I'm gonna be honest with you, right? When I went through my divorce, I was angry and upset because there was a lot of things that happened in that divorce that had me pissed off
Mhm.
because I was very mistreated in that divorce. And I coming out of that divorce, I didn't want to deal with her, and my kids were young enough that I would have to call her in order to talk to them, and I didn't want to deal with her. So I didn't talk to my kids for a while. And she had to reach out to me and kind of bury the hatches a little bit in order for me to establish that relationship back with them. Because I was upset, and peace at that time was more important than dealing with her in order to get to my kids. You know, granted, now we're on good terms. We are very good co-parents. But in that moment, I wasn't with it. And so I can just imagine, just based off of the fact that she's like that now, what she was like as a partner. And if it is what I imagine that it is, I would find myself in a similar situation to where me and you separate. I got kids with you. I don't want to deal with you to deal with them. So I'll just be off until they can establish a relationship with me on their own, adjacent to you. And so that's why I think she's so butthurt, is because they have an adjacent relationship and it doesn't involve her, but she has the daily input into raising her life. And it's a sad situation because it's supposed to be a celebration, but instead, she wants all the love and affection, i.e., the mother.
Jealousy. That's right.
Jealousy. There you go. Good word.
That's what it is.
Well, Big G, we've been at it for about 2 hours going on. You got your little podcast system set up now. Now you gonna be out there cutting the food.
Cut the food.
Hey, Big G, I know you got an announcement to make, so go ahead and make your announcement. And while you're at it, let them know where they can find you.
Hey, catch me out on on Instagram for now. Instagram, Wise and Smart 22. Wednesdayism, I've been dropping them. They I've been getting a lot of feedback on my Wednesdayism because we've been talking about logical things this month of January, and being very logical and strategic in our being, especially as men. But as we go into the new year, I know when we finished up in December, I told everybody I will be getting my stuff together. And as you see, I got my microphone, got my headphones, I'm not on my cell phone no more, so I got the new computer. We flopping out, we going, but coming soon, and we're putting it together for the second week in February. My podcast is going to be the first episode is going to be an introductory episode to guide people into what we're going to be talking about, how we're going to proceed forward with my solo podcast. Still going to be here with Juan every week, but my solo podcast, and Juan going to be over there on mine as well. But the new podcast will be called the Potted Meat Podcast. Conversations with a G.
And what kind of topics you gonna be talking about?
If everybody know what potted meat is, and if you grew up down south, you do know what potted meat is. Potted meat is basically they take the scraps and they grind them all together and they stuff them in a can, and bam, you got meat, baby. So that's the podcast. That's what the podcast is going to be. We're going to be a collection of everything. I might be a revolutionary one week. I might be political leader one week. We're going to be talking sports. We're going to be talking a little bit of everything. but the gist of it is going to be a safe place for men to come in. We have men topics. We talk about things. We're talking about bettering ourselves as men and preparing ourselves for life to be better fathers, to be better husbands, to be better friends, to be better role models, all around better men. So the Potty Meat podcast will be a safe place for men to come in and share. Now we will have lady guests at times, but once again, this is a safe place for men to talk and discuss about being better for us, because once we're better for us, we can be better for our women co-parts.
Well, congratulations, bro, on getting yourself set up with your new podcast. Like you said, I'll be joining you whenever you want to have me on there. And again, that it was Wise and Smart 22 on Instagram. Make sure you guys drop him a DM and let him know where you found him. That is Big G on Instagram, Wise and Smart 22. And for myself, all of my contact information is in the description below. So make sure you reach out to me on all of the multiple platforms. And I have a big announcement. I have for a while been working on my autobiography. Yes. Well, it's more of a memoir. And it is kind of the story of my experiences growing up, some childhood traumas that I went through, and how I was able to build myself out of those childhood traumas into the man that I am today, still having those things that was a sore thumb, and how I use them now to help better myself and better the people around me. The book is titled F This, Shaping Masculinity Out of Childhood Traumas. I hope to have it done and ready for consumption by March 1st. So I will be looking for support from everybody who subscribes to us. And I am thankful for everybody who has reached out to me, who has hit me up. We are gaining traction on Instagram. We have kind of started to explode on TikTok. YouTube has been fantastic. I am grateful for all of the love and support that you guys are showing me. And I am also great for those who disagree with our conversations, and you're providing your own perspective, and that's the good thing about this. It's an opportunity for us to share our perspectives and have people engage with us. And it's okay for us to disagree with each other, as long as we keep it about the topic, and we don't go about making it personal. So with that being said, I am Juanito, aka Coach Robinson. That is Big G. Signing off. And remember, align your life, lead with purpose, and always put God first. Y'all have a good night.